This meeting is being recorded.
Welcome, everybody, to another episode of the Whispers Racing Podcast. So, Rupert, Clarke, Day, George, Main Stakes Day in Sydney. As always, I'm joined by Matty. How are you, Matty?
Going well, Worm. How are you, mate?
Yep, going well. I'll keep saying it. I'm bloody excited. We're getting an inch closer to the better racing, and we just find another tough day, I reckon.
An inch closer. Aren't we just getting an inch further away? Did you not watch the racing last week at HQ?
Oh, I did. It was bloody tough to watch.
Oh, mate. I'm thunderstruck. Wow. Horse winning from the inside like that. Haven't seen that in years.
No, as I wrote on the thread, Mark Zara was a nose away from being a hero or being an absolute villain. I don't think it was hugely his fault, but he could have easily driven up when the gates opened and followed Alligator Blood, who was bloody gallant in defeat, and it hurts for me to say it. Full credit, it was a good to see the horse do what it did. Timmy Clarke might have made a little mistake just going slow and then ramping things up really quick between the 200s. I can't remember the figures off the top of my head, but if you have to, game of inches.
No, but some very good races. You're right, mate. Some even better races coming up.
Yeah, bloody oath. It's good because you've got to dive deeper into these races. You've got to really find it now. It's not like your winter where you can just go, yep, that'll win. But now it's good. It's good to be diving deep into these races. You can find some little gems.
You know what's good is that we have been keeping track of a lot of these horses throughout the autumn and even into early winter. So it's nice to have a bit of a read on a few of these.
Yeah, it is. It's going to be a very interesting meeting to find out where horses go for the Guineas, Caulfield Cups, Cox Plate. It is, I keep saying it, it's learning day. It's another learning day, but I think like last week, Western Empire, gone, shipped off. See you later. Thanks for coming. We find out again where Animo is, Zaki is. We see where they're at in their preps.
Absolutely, Mr. Peters just going, thank you very much. I'll make a bit of coin over in Western Australia rather than grinding away in Melbourne.
And that's smart. If the races are worth 1.5 million in Perth, why wouldn't you just end prep now? Get them set with a big carnival.
I'm more than happy with that. I've backed Western Empire the last two starts. Get it back home. I don't want to hear anymore.
Yeah, it's a touch disappointing for Western Empire, but looking back on it, it didn't beat anything over there. But it did it stylishly.
You tell me now.
Yeah, I know. It's easy to say it now. Yes, all you people out there can pop me for being the post-race expert, but...
Mate, was there anything that took your fancy last week?
I know Lloyd Williams' horses are pretty much cooked. I learnt that. There was some in that long distance. They went so bloody fast, like a European race, but good win by the winner, High Motion. Vow and Declare looks to be, I'm not going to say back, but good to see him run on. I did give him a chance on the community. I did say he was going to run a big race and just found one better. No, I didn't learn off Berkeley Square in the last. That was utterly unbelievable to do what it did. But yeah, it's bit of that. Still got to wait a bit more, I reckon. Just a couple of more weeks.
Was it just me, or was it fast witness coming down the outside in that last race, like watching paint dry? Ethan fucking whipped the horse.
It's missed the kick. That killed it. As soon as they jumped, I'm like, it's done.
Yes, no, you are right. But the one that really stood out for me, apart from on Thunderstruck, was Kiss 'Em All Four Cheeks. I did not think it could do what it did from that wide gate, sitting so wide as well.
Yeah, and to remember, there was a breeze in that home straight, 20-odd kilometres most of the day. So it was hard to make ground, and if they did it well with a bit of cover. But yeah, Kissing All Four Cheeks, it's he pulled our pants down.
I definitely found a couple of horses.
Yeah, definitely. And even that Mackay Diva, like, I don't know what the jockeys were thinking on those back markers, knowing that there was wins. Zara and Timmy Clarke got it so right. And that's why you have the best jockeys on all throughout the year. They make the best decisions. They don't second guess themselves. They get them right more than often.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Last week, can I blow my trumpet?
Which trumpet would that be?
Not the pineapple.
I was about to say you're handing that over.
I am dual. I don't know what to think. It did face the breeze, or was it just junk? Oh, I don't know. I'd like to see it one more time, just in case. Think I've got the opinion of it might be junk, but the breeze factor might be part of it. But we found a couple of winners. One of them was Scalapini in Maddie's race. How dare you take me on? Yearning, a bit more luck, and it might have won at massive odds. But if you played it each way, it's a tick. And Shades of Rose in Sydney, game of inches. Rachel King got it right.
Nice little weekend for yourself, mate. You were the king of the community, so well played. And one that I wouldn't mind mentioning is your comment around the Queensland horses coming down and their form. Scalapini, Baller, absolutely.
Shooting for
the
gold.
Form coming down, the form coming down from Queensland is something that we're going to need to keep an eye on this spring.
Well, it used to be Sydney horses coming to Melbourne, which just auto bet. Now it's Queensland auto bet. Just put them in. And I did say in I think it was my preview, I said, any Queensland horse, just put it in your quaddies. You won't be disappointed, especially with Mark Zara on board.
Indeed.
And I tipped the quaddie in the community on Saturday. Think, yep.
There were a couple that
and I didn't get it personally myself.
Right, there are a couple that went to Sizzler.
Yeah. Buying shares in, cashing out, mate.
Oh, mate. What I'm going to be buying shares in is Peter Moody's nose roll. I tell you, in the third race last week at Flemington, one that we'd talked about 2 weeks earlier in Nanagai, just that Peter Moody nose roll, finding space and coming down the outside at $21. Could not believe I wasn't on it, but I'll tell you what, old Pete is back. And that nose roll, we've seen it a fair bit across the last 4 weeks, and I think we're going to see it a fair bit more across this spring. So Pete Moody for Meany's nose roll will be added to my portfolio. And when I say added to the portfolio, I think I'll just be taking a bit of a closer look at his horses in the races that I'll be looking at moving forward. Yourself?
No, to add to that Moody comment, Moody goes at 18%. A career, last 50, 26. So he's definitely on a good run, and he's definitely worth an extra tick if you like the horse. Cash out, nothing. Quite happy with what I saw. Maybe the Lloyd Williams horses you can start cashing out on, but not those international ones he's bringing over, but the local ones, they're cooked. I'll be seeing them on the sales, I think, online digital sales shortly, and buying shares in nothing yet. Nothing out of the ordinary at the moment. I'm just, track stats. Sorry, I'm off the fairies a little bit. Rail out 6 meters Saturday. Weather is the biggest part we're going to see here. Rain tomorrow, rain Saturday during the day. Now, if you're a regular listener, it's just on repeat here. The rail will be off. Lanes 4 to 7 will be your spot to be. So I reckon barriers 1 and 2 we will not want to be. Look for leaders, look for wet trackers. I'm working on a soft 6-7. It all depends on the weather during the day. That is the biggest key. If they get it, it's going to be absolutely disgusting track. No fault of the track managers, just the way the weather's been this winter. Trial trackers. I found one. Race 9, number 12, Rose Cortez. 2 lovely jump outs. Looks like to come back well. Good autumn campaign going through its grades and finds a nice race to kick off here. That is Rose Cortez. We're going to preview races 4, 6, and 8. And I'm going to throw in some questions to you, Maddie, without notice. So let's see how you go. Race 4, I'll kick things off here. The Caulfield Guineas Prelude, 1,400 metres. Going to find out the bigger picture in this race. The odds. Let's go. So we've got the favourite here, Half Cabin, 225. Number 1, Osimpenko, $3.90. Number 8, Japanese Emperor, $10. 4, Meridius, $9.50. Number 7, Armadale, $15, $16 the rest. Well, interesting, because number 2 here, Half Cabin, deserves to be favourite in my eyes. Totally respect the 225. I'd forget about last start. It was 1,400 back to 1,200. Yes, it didn't win, but I feel 1,400 will suit this horse way better. It could really blow this field apart with this map that it perfectly gets, I believe. So I'm happy to be with Half Cabin as my main bet of the race. And we'll be having a little play here on number 8, Japanese Emperor. I was really impressed with its victory and thought it could have won, but with a lot more, with any luck. He was just held up. And then when he got off heels at about the 300, the jockey sat up with it with 100 to go. If the horse jumps with him, he can sit with Half Cabin right behind him and could be a 2-horse war down the straight. So only a small play, Japanese Emperor, because it probably might go back. But if it can jump with him, we've got to have something on. Number 10 here, Berendino, coming out of a hot maiden. It was beaten 1.85 to the second favourite for the Derby, who was spotting the winner, 1 to 2 lengths the whole race. I just feel 30s is huge overs. Yes, back 100 metres is a concern, but it will be your black booker out of the race. Probably 2,000 I'd be looking for this horse. But in summary, if I'm having $100 spend, it's $80 Half Cabin, $20 a Japanese Emperor. Matty.
Yeah, for those just listening and not watching on YouTube, yes, I was clapping when you mentioned Japanese Empire. I thought I would have been the only one to catch that. Look, a little bit concerning that it did flash home. I'm always a little bit wary about the horses of flashing home. Sometimes the wins look a little bit better than what they are second up. A little bit concerning, but I'll tell you what, the times that put up across that last 200, you've got to take notice. And at $10, definitely worth a nibble. I agree. Half Cabin, consistent. And I can't see it any different here. The 225, that's probably the only concern. You're not getting much of a price to find out. So I think I'll be just having a bit of a smaller play on Japanese Empire in here, but I'm very much with you in your selections.
A little note here for one, Osimpenko. Look, I totally respect it. Started $2 favourite against Kaboo, who went really well before. I think it's out for injury now. Kaboo probably would have stacked up in our spring. And I just think Osimpenko with barrier 1 isn't the place to be, but it can win if it had a middle barrier. Just keep an eye on Zamborghini. It will lead, I reckon, this Saturday. Forget last start, was back wide. Meridius did well to run on last start. I like that. If you can run on at the Valley, you're definitely going to be serviceable next start. But yeah, I think Half Cabin puts these away quite easily if Japanese Emperor goes back. Race 6, I'm doing that one again. I've left myself short here. Odds. We have Uncle Bryn, favourite, $5. Number 1, Gold Trip, $5. Number 11, Emissary, $6. Number 4, Shiraz, $8. 13, Smokin' Romans, $9. Number 8, Crystal Pegasus, $11. Number 2, Ellswood, $17. And Midnight Blue, $17 and $18 plus the rest. Interesting race this. A few of the horses have golden tickets in the Cups or Grand Finals or have Cox Plates later in the prep. In saying that, I'm going to have something 1x3 here on number 9, Midnight Blue. Thought its first up was a pass mark. Jockey looked after it the last 100. Second up, I feel it was really good. It sat behind the leader. When the race was on, he was just sitting waiting. No fault of the jockey, just barrier 1, found it, just stuck in the coffin. Third up, it should be ready to rock and roll. Barrier 4 can sit handier. Conditions shouldn't be an issue. Number 1 here, Gold Trip, best horse in the race. If it's ready to go, brings its European form, it should win this quite easily. But 80 to 90% fit with the Cox plate down the track for a grand final. I can't knock him, though. You can't lay him. I have to give Luna Flair another chance. Was back and wide on a day that you shouldn't have been back and wide. Now, number 3 here, Grand Promenade. And number 6, Chapada. 7, DeQuint Sweet Jr. And number 8, Crystal Pegasus. I have eyes on the Caulfield Cup, so I'll be looking for them to run on and see where they're at in their prep. But I'm happy to have 1x3 Midnight Blue. Matty.
You just sent in another one back home to Perth.
Yep. Yeah, there is.
Peters after this, send it home. Midnight Blue, done.
There is big potential. I've retired a horse, and now I'm going to send another one home.
No. I do see how you don't mind it. Perth Cup winner. Really, it's up to a field like this. For me, a race like this, watch the money. You mentioned it, or I think maybe 2-3 weeks ago when they raced at Caulfield. Watch the money, because a race like this, you're going to find the information coming in late for the horses that are ready for a race like this, or the ones that are going to get prepped for something like a Caulfield Cup. Personally, I think a horse like Crystal Pegasus will probably get a W before it does get to the Caulfield Cup, and this might very much be a race that suits. At $11, I'm happy to find out. But if you see the money coming for Gold Trip, you know that Ma Eustace has got that horse peaking for a race like this. So in the last 3-4 minutes before the race, as Worm mentioned a few weeks ago, watch where all of that money comes for, because if there is a big push, I would be jumping on that. So I won't be having a bet until the last 5 minutes before they jump.
Yeah, definitely. It's a very, very good point. And how the market goes, I reckon they come for Gold Trip. 113 Raider against some horses that first up or just absolutely cooked. So if you like Gold Trip, I suggest you have something now. I am a little concerned. I didn't mention it. He had a high temperature first up after his Sydney run. And then there was another issue the other day. I don't know if it was conditions or what, but so that's why I couldn't put him on top. There's a few little negatives that I don't want to be a part of, but I can't knock him. Uncle Bryn, I just cannot have it near that price. He's a 89 rater against horses that are hundreds, and you want to take $5 when it got beaten last start. Barrier 1, no. Lovely horse, but not for me when you got some big boys playing in this race.
Very good.
Question without notice. Race 7. All the talk this week has been about I wish I win being an emergency. Now, probably doesn't get a run unless there's a few scratchings. Now, should the powers to be stewards or whoever's in charge, be able to upgrade a horse and take a horse out for the better of the field?
No.
So you wouldn't take out Asa. So we get one of the up and coming horses in.
I wouldn't take out Asa for one of the up and coming horses. No.
Okay. You wouldn't take out any of the horses in there?
I think
like the Cox Plate? Cox Plate do it.
To your point, it would be a much better race if
Yep.
I Wish I Win was in it.
Yep.
However, there is a rating system,
Mhm.
and I'm quite comfortable for horses to be qualified based on that rating system.
Yeah. No, mate, I'm on the fence. I don't like to be on the fence. I like to have an opinion, as people know. The Cox Plate do it. So I'm going to say, why can't they do it in Group 1s only?
Oh, you do have a fuel limit of 16 in this. I think the Cox Plate is up to a limit of 5. Have we had any more than 5 across the last 2 years?
Look, I don't mind what they do. It's trying to make the best race possible. And, if you don't qualify, that's fine. But look, from a punting point of view, from a viewing point of view, yes, I want to see it. If I owned one of those horses, I got kicked out, I'd probably be on social media going absolutely ballistic. But I just for Group 1s, I'd like to see it. But who do you kick out? If ASAR didn't win last start, we probably have a case to push forward. But ASAR won last start.
Well, realistically, based on that logic, we should just have a match race between Zaki and Animo for the Cox Plate. That's it.
I missed the bright side.
How many more do you want to add in?
Hey, we'll be talking about this in, a month's time. We'll be having this discussion because always one of them gets missed out.
I understand your point, but for me, it's one of the differences we have within racing.
Yep.
Is that there are different qualification metrics for each race.
Yep.
And the owners and the trainers, when they nominate horses, they're fully aware of where their horses are in the pecking order.
Yep.
Look, completely understand your point, and I Wish I Win, if it was in the field, I think you'd find it would be a much more competitive race.
Well, you look at like Dragon Leap hasn't won for 944 days, and it's first emergency. So, look, it has merit. I just like, as I said, I like to see it in Group 1s for the best possible race. But if I was an owner, I'd probably be on social media like they do for the Melbourne Cups and Cox Plates. It's a good talking point.
To be fair, I Wish I Win hadn't won a group race over in New Zealand before it came out here.
That is correct. And look, they had their chance to run 2 weeks after the Caulfield race to get it in, but on recent events, 98 rater gets you in. So it's stiff. It's stiff, but
it is.
Look, yeah, it's a good talking point. Just thought I'd bring it up, see what everyone. Let us know what your opinion is. It'd be interesting because I know it'll be divided. But yeah, it's a good chat. Race 8, Matty, you want to preview that?
I do, mate. I do. So, look, we'll jump straight into it. Actually, before we do, have you got the odds just for the top couple?
Yeah. I got it. Yep. Chain of Lightning is favourite $2.90 is your best price. Isotope $5. 2 Zapateo $6. 5 Written Beauty $7. Number 8 She's All Class $9. Argentia $11. $15 the rest.
Fantastic. Look, really speed. I think Lavish Girl from barrier number 3, which will be pushed into barrier number 2 with a scratching of Felicia, and then Rainbeal, I think, will probably have to push forward from out wide. They're the 2 that I see creating the pace. Potentially, She's All Class might push up behind Lavish Girl and get a really nice sit on the rails. And again, it's going to need a little bit of luck on the corner if it does get out. The 4 here that took my fancy, Argentia. Big fan of this horse. However, it runs into a few in this race that I don't necessarily think it can beat unless the others run into some issues. So Argentia, we'll find another race for it. She's All Class. Honestly, as the trainers have mentioned, depends which fucking horse just shows up on the day. Like, honestly, it's burnt us before, and we saw it run second behind Chain of Lightning. So it's got the class, it's got the ability. It just depends on which horse is going to show up on the day. I know you're not you're not too happy with She's All Class, neither am I. It was a pineapple that we got burnt on. But here, jumping from barrier number 1, it's going to get that cover behind Lavish Girl. So it's going to get a really, really good run within this race. One that I think has probably been forgotten down the bottom of the field. Another award. Now, Melburnians, for some reason, hate South Australian horses because this horse should be paying $6 to $7. However, we put a 1 in front of it. 4th behind Snap Dancer. Some really solid and consistent form over in South Australia. It will sit slightly worse in midfield, and it will be coming very, very hard towards the end. So if there is some pace on, which there may be with Lavish Girl and Rainbill crossing over, if there is some pace on, I can see this horse at $17 really giving this a big nudge. Well, I can't go past Chain of Lightning, though. It's got its picket fence. We're looking at 6 in a row. This is no better than the Cochrane. Now, unless She's All Class gets an unbelievable run from the inside, gets the luck that it needs, horses moving off the fence, and it just gets a dream run, Chain of Lightning's going to sit similar, 3 wide with cover like it did in the Cochrane, and it's going to peel out and go bang. To me, it looks like it's going to be a very good bet. Worm, I'll be on Chain of Lightning, and as I mentioned, another award at $16, $17, and then She's All Class at 10s. There's nothing wrong having a saver on either of those two. Thoughts?
I'm going to mute the word She's All Class after this show's finished, so no one can hear that word again. So
Understandable.
But no, Chain of Lightning, 100% agree. Valid points. This is easier. Barrier 11 suits it. Sits 3 wide. Probably comes across later as they're about to turn. Jamie Carr puts it just outside leader. Boom. See you later. Good night, Irene. Number 1, Lavish Girl. Number 5, Written Beauty. Both jumped out really well. Marked them quite highly. I think they're going to run a competitive race. They won't win. They're probably going to run a drum. Especially Lavish Girl, 30s I saw. That's stupid odds. Argentia, by Frankel, 1,200 metres. Why? Like, I'm not questioning the stable. They know what they're doing, but surely it wants 1,600. Like, each jump outs tells me it can't sprint anymore. Now, looking at that, who trains it? Sam and Anthony Friedman. Career, they go 17%. Last 50, they're going at 8%. Now, the Saturday duel and Wednesday they had Victoria Rock, which I fell for. Both were hard in the market early, then drifted really bad. Now, is that the market reacting to their stats and how bad they're going, or the horse? I reckon it's to the stats. So keep an eye on that, punters. Not knocking them, but they're just having a poor run of late. So just keep that in mind when betting. Another award, 100% agree. Oh, I can't believe the price. Snap Dancer form. Wow, it's now got a slot in the Everest. So got to respect that. But yeah, Chain of Lightning, very, very hard to beat.
The only other one to mention there is Zapateo coming down from Sydney. Look, I get why it's in the market. I really do. It is a class horse. I prefer it over 1,000 or 1,100 rather than 1,200. So, yeah, look, it would surprise me if it wins. It wouldn't surprise me if it runs a place.
Yep. Thought I'd bring in another interesting stat to the table. McAvoy's been having a few winners of late on the synthetic, but in the last 50 runners they've only had 1 winner on the turf, and that was back in August 6th. That is 1 winner, and that was at Murray Bridge. It wasn't in Victoria. So just keep an eye on it, punters. Yes, they had a very, very, very good winter campaign on the synthetic at Ballarat. Not knocking that, but we're now playing on the big boys' turf, and they've only had 1 winner the last 50. So, and the other, we'll end it with a positive. The Mark Zara career goes at 14%. Last 50, he's going at 22%. So if you see him in your book and you're wondering if you should add him in the quaddie, I'd just put Mark Zara in. WhatsApp. Guys, if you want to join, please DM me. Get all the info I can give you on all Victorian races, maidens, metros. You have a voice. You can put your bets in there. There was one punter on Saturday who absolutely took them to the cleaners, took a place multi, took him to the cleaners. Then he posted another place multi, took him to the cleaners. John, you're out there. I hope you're listening, mate. That is one of some unbelievable punting I saw from you on Saturday. He didn't have the lotto number Saturday, so he gets a bit of a whack for not posting the lotto numbers for Saturday. Yeah, you get my previews, you get Maddie's thoughts, you get your own thoughts as well, guys. So come join. It's a good community. NFL's heating up, and I went 2 from 5 on Monday, so that was an absolute shit show. But come and have a laugh. There's plenty of funny stories to be told. So if you want to be involved, DM me, and I will put you straight in. Let's move to Around the Grounds. Matty, where are we going?
Let's stick in Melbourne for the time being. Race 2. Now, Renoso, we tipped last week, was scratched. We're going to have 2 bets within this race, Worm. Both of them Cummings horses. Renoso and Kin, both playing $10. I like both of their maiden wins up north, and I'm keen to play both of these. So, Renoso and also Kin, around that $10 mark. Race 6. Now, I mentioned I won't be having a bet in this race until 5 minutes to go. But I will be also having a slight nibble at Crystal Pegasus at that $12 mark. I think it was an ugly tempo race up in Sydney for it. And I think we're going to see it run exceptionally better here at Caulfield. So I'll be having something on Crystal Pegasus. I'm following it all the way to the Caulfield Cup. I think you'll find that it'll be one in the lead up. Then we're going up to Sydney. Race 6. Zagotcha. Now it's got in secret form, which we know was exceptional last weekend. Up to the 1400 metres won't be an issue. J-Mac on board. From barrier number 5, it's going to get a really good sit. I think this is a class above the rest of this field. Zagotcha, around about that $2.50 mark, up in Sydney, race 6. Worm, yourself?
Well, I'm having 2 bets in the one race. We're going to go Sydney, race 7, race 8. We're going. Got to have something on Nature Strip. Like, he's all-time favourite. He's the best. Good to see him back. Do what he did in Europe. Be interesting to see he comes back. His jump outs have been good. Trials. Just the barrier might be a bit sticky, but you got to have something on Nature Strip. Why not? He wins first up, loses second up, and then pantsers him third up. But the main play I'm going to have in the race is number 7, Overpass. Now, we made this a special back when it ran at Flemington. We're only going the place, though. We're not going to win. How dare we take on Nature Strip? Good jump outs. Barrier 11 can use Eduardo to get across, sit outside leader. We know Nature Strip slightly missed the kick. Will be interesting to see how he comes back from Europe, as I mentioned. Going off its trials, it looks super. Hope he brains him, and Overpass can run second or third at $3.50 the place. You're probably going to get a better price come race time. That is Overpass the place only. Yes, I've put my skirt on and we're going the place, but it's a punting show. Any winner is a winner. Multi-time. What are you chucking in, Matty?
Mate, we mentioned both of them. We're going to go another award, the place. So I think it's around about that $4 mark at the moment. And then Renoso, the place as well, around about that $3 to $50 mark. So I think we'll be adding a little bit of value with Renoso, the place, and another award, the place.
Oh, juicy. I'm going to put in Half Cabin the win. And I'm going to chuck in Tuvalu in the Sir Rupert Clarke. I'm banking on I Wish I Win doesn't get a run. I'm going to put it in the place. I think I love him to bits, this horse. He gets the perfect map. He's going to be wide. He's had a jump out since. And around the $2 mark, he can go on the multi. And the multi is going to come to $52. Plus, we're going to be deducted heavily if Wish I Win goes in, but $52, Half Cabin, Tuvalu, Renusu, and another award. Punters, just quick one. If you liked our NBA podcast finals. It's coming back before the season starts. I've signed Nick to a massive deal, Ty Vickery sort of money when he went to Hawthorn. So we've signed him up for a couple of episodes. We'll do one to preview the whole season. A few little bets on MVPs, NBA championships. That'll drop probably a couple of weeks before the first game.
I've just got word.
Yep.
Mate, he's not doing it anymore. Just being compared to Ty Vickery. He's out. He's out.
Well, I just thought big dollars. I thought who is better than having the big dollars? And Ty Vickery stole money from Hawthorn. But yeah, so stay tuned for that, guys. I will announce when we will be up and running. Now, back to the races. More importantly, Pineapple of the Week, Matty. Where are we going?
Well, it was a bit of a toss-up, but I'm going to go north. We're going to go race 6, Zougotcha, with J-Mac on board. As I mentioned, I think it is a class above the rest of these. 1,400, no issue. Barrier number 5, J-Mac will know what to do, and I think it'll be getting the chocolates.
I like it. Yeah, no best bet from me. So you can DM me and join the WhatsApp group to find out mine. Thank you again, Matty. Next week, we got races Flemington Sunday.
I'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah. More importantly, join DM. You get all our thoughts for Saturday and Sunday.
That's right. We'll be well and truly all over that on Sunday.
Yeah, beautiful. That's all from me. Anything from you, Matty?
Mate, happy punting, and fingers crossed the weather stays away and we can enjoy Caulfield at its best.
Yeah, it'd be bloody great if the rain doesn't come, but it looks like it is. But hope you fill your pockets up. More importantly, we hope we fill your pockets up. Like, subscribe, swipe left, swipe right. You know the drill, guys. We'll see you next week. I think it's Turnbull Stakes Day next Saturday. No, it's not Turnbull.
Grand final.
Oh, yeah, grand final. Well, we'll be throwing in a few first goal kickers. Got a thought on the Brownlow?
I thought on Brownlow.
It's on Sunday.
We'll just say Paddy. We'll just say Paddy. I haven't had much of a look, but I think Paddy will be leading halfway through the season and drop off rapidly.
Yep. I'm going to throw Connor Rosie top 10. I think he'll go all right. He had if you can live bet it, I reckon wait till the mid-year because that's when he exploded. He was so quiet throughout the first half of the year. So if you can live bet that or even top 5, I'm going to have a few dollars on that, but definitely top 10. Chuck them in your multis. Yeah, there's our Brownlow preview. We don't have to even do a podcast. Look at that, punters. Freebies. Yeah, I'll speak to you all next weekend, and so will Matty, and we'll sign off with our favourite man again. He just wants to have a few words to our loyal customers.
I'm not a good person, but it just goes to show that good things do happen to bad people. So anyone out there who's up against the wall, fucking stick to it. Every cent you got, your rent, your electricity bill, if you're going to buy your missus a ring, don't fucking do it. Keep punting. Keep fucking punting.